Hey guys, what's up? This is day 255 in my 1 year daily diary challenge. This challenge was prompted after I completed a 100-day challenge, and those first 100 days were intuitively prompted through a meditation session. So if you want more information on those first 100 days, please pop back and listen in. Again, these recordings and daily diary entries are 100% raw, real, uncut, unedited. I literally just press record and get to it. No stopping, no editing, no changing. So like I just did, those mistakes will happen. I'll get tongue tied and we just keep going. And so that is one of the other things that I've really loved about this process is just being okay with those and rolling with it and understanding that everybody does it and we don't have to be super perfect to put our content, put our quality of heart and soul out there, as long as we are passionate and we are honest and we are open and we are authentic. And that's what I'm doing here. So let's get into day 255. So today is a Friday and I got the kids up and got them to school. Typically on Fridays, my son and I will have a date at Whole Foods, but we've been changing it up a little bit. And going to Wegmans just because of the products that they have there and the availability to get like grab and go food for his lunches. So we took my daughter to school, dropped her off, and then headed over to Wegmans. We did a quick little shop and I was just being really fun with him. And he ended up picking a race car shopping cart and like the little kids shopping carts, and I was like, yeah, let's go. And I'm driving this shopping cart all around the store like a little race car, and we're having fun picking out things, snacks and drinks and cough drops and drinks and stuff for the rest of the weekend. Just some fun things we had picked out in the store that were unusual. I went by the Lobsters and we saw the little train go around in the store. So it was just a really fun morning to hang out with him and get some grocery shopping done, pick some fun things out, and then get him off to school. So after our fun little morning shopping experience and date, I took him to school and dropped him off, and then I got back home and I just started to up my weight with my kettlebell routine. So I was actually trying to purchase a weight in between. So I have a 10-pound kettlebell and a 25-pound kettlebell. I was thinking about getting a 15 or a 20 pound to be in between there. But it was just like, it wasn't really working. So I said, okay, this isn't working. Let me just grab the 25 pound and start doing my workouts with that. So for the past couple of days, I have been using the 25-pound kettlebell, and it's really kicked my butt, literally. And so today I was feeling just like sore muscles in my glutes and the backs of my legs, and even a little bit of lower back, but more so in my muscles, not actually like my spine and stuff. So having grace with myself, I decided to just do vibration, plate therapy, do grounding and acupressure, and then do sauna, and not do my weights, which is fine because I was like, I really feel like I need to just have a pause break, recuperate a little bit, maybe do some extra stretching. And so that's what I did. I got into all of that stuff. I got myself in the shower. I got myself dressed. I reached out to a couple of friends, and I decided to go to a coffee shop where one of my really good friends works at. And we had just been trying to get together for a little bit, and she's just like bogged down with her work schedule. So I was like, hey, I'm going to come to you. And so I popped into the cafe and I saw her, and we just like caught up, and she's doing amazing. And I'm so happy for her and all of the expansion and growth that she's going through. Just caught up with the stuff that I'm doing and had an espresso, hung out, got to see the space. Really, really cute. how they expanded the shop and added things. So it was just a great morning, and I, hung out for a couple of hours, and then I went home and I just, relaxed at home. Started to do some stuff that I needed to, like, cleaning up for the weekend, just so that the weekend we could relax. Now I found some bowling coupons, like 2 free hours of bowling, and I found some movie tickets, free comp tickets to a theater, and I gave the kids the opportunity to be like, hey, we can go bowling, we could do the movies, we could do both, we could do nothing, it doesn't matter. And then my daughter was so tired when she got home from school that she just went upstairs and literally passed out and slept for a couple of hours before waking up. My son got home from school and I got him from the bus, and he was excited to be home. He was excited that we had a little jacket mishap where he left his jacket at his dad's house, but it was in the bathroom, so nobody really knew that it was there. Anyway, it was found and brought back, and within that, I had a really unusually nice conversation with his dad via text. We keep it pretty basic because we're just, in it for the kids, and every once in a while he'll pop up and he'll just be like, something will be aggravating him and he has a complaint, and I'm just very open and welcoming and warming and not taking the bait, not playing that game, but like talking about the jacket and how funny it was that he left it in the bathroom and unexpected. And then he was saying something about, boys do that. And I remember I was a boy who misplaced items like that. And it was just, we were talking about, how funny it is and how special it is to be, there to see them grow up. And then I started talking about family, and I had this question on my mind, and I don't know, I just released it. And I said, asked him if his family had tried to set him up on any dates recently. And he, just engaged with it as far as like, yes, they have, but he doesn't want to allow them to involve themselves in his romantic life. And then he asked me the same thing. And I said, no, my family has not tried to set me up with anybody. And I was going to say, like, thankfully, but, it hasn't happened. So I don't know if my family did try to set me up with somebody that they know. Would I be okay with that? Would that be a good thing? I don't know, because I've never experienced. So try to say things that really mean something to me and avoid saying things that don't mean anything to me. So choosing my words more carefully, I guess, is what I'm saying. But then he commented, he's like, you've been on dates though, right? And I was like, of course, it's been 3 years since we separated and divorced. Of course, I'm going to be on dates. And then he was like, yeah, of course they've been on dates too. And I said, I'm glad, and I just want you to be happy. So whatever that looks like for you, I'm just, supporting you. And, we're supporting each other. And he's like, same. And I was like, I really appreciate you, and I appreciate, our relationship, and appreciate, co-parenting with the kids gracefully. And then he was just like, I feel the same, likewise, or whatever. So it wasn't like I was looking for validation in that conversation, but it was good to finally break the ice with talking about that we are seeing other people. Because for a long time, he was definitely the one who was trying to be like, oh, what if we get back together? What if in the future we decide like that we, want to pursue this again? And I just have no interest in that at all, because the person that I am now is so drastically different than the person I used to be. And what I'm looking for in a partner is so much different than who he is. Not to say that he's a bad person by any means, but I just don't see that there's a path there anymore for us. And so to talk about dating other people was great for me to move forward, to be like, okay, we're at least being open about this, and he's at least voicing that he is seeing other people. So that's great. I didn't necessarily need that, but it was nice to have it, to know that he's, and like I said, I can't read too much into it because all he said was what I saw on the text. It's not what he's feeling in his heart. So I don't want him to think that we have a chance together in the future, especially if I'm not feeling it. So I'm really excited to hear that he is pursuing other opportunities and that he ultimately is going to be happy with somebody else. So that was kind of an interesting conversation, text thread, just actually, trying to get the jacket back. So, we just hung out at the house, and I made some vegetable soup, and we had grab and go foods that were from, our Wegmans trip that were easy. I was super tired and drained, and I fell asleep on the sofa. My daughter came down, had something to eat, went back up. My son had something to eat, and he was, involved in his other things. And at a certain point, I was like, I'm really feeling tired and I want to go to bed. And we all just kind of wrapped it up and went up to bed. Before actually closing my eyes and going to sleep, I did my manifestation mantras and just really have been consistent about every night and every morning. Even though I got off track for a little while, I am back in the routine of building myself up, opening myself up, following the flow, and continuing to work on me. So I think a lot of things I've been seeing in my social media feed and my different, things that come across are all about working on me and building me up now. I think this last year was a lot about self-love and settling into being alone and being okay with who I am down at the core. And so now that I've settled into that, I'm not saying that I'm 100%, and nobody's 100% all the time anyway, but I'm okay with me, all of me, authentic me, down to the core. I love me. I love all the parts of me, and I am ready to move forward now into building and growing and becoming that person outside of myself in the world who can now be authentic, can now be strong and powerful and beautiful and loving and giving and supporting. And so that is just what I've been seeing a lot of, is this next phase stuff, like how to present yourself in, environments, and like signals and hand cues and eye cues. And it's all exciting to me now, where I think before it would have been intimidating. So I'm just really excited for this next phase. I think I touched on it on yesterday's daily diary entry, how I've been going through a lot of family drama with my grandmother and my mother, and how we've been dealing with this house situation in Florida. And yes, I am still moving to Florida with my kids. And yes, it is going to be the right move for us. And yes, I am going to put myself in a position where I feel safe and my kids feel safe. I am going to foster the relationships that need to be fostered and not hold on to things that don't make sense for this next phase of life. And so sometimes you have to have a very jarring, shake you up experience or something along those lines to get your attention, to be like, hey, this is not meant for you. Just in case you didn't hear me the million times I said it before, now you know for certain. So I feel like, yes, I just feel excited for this next phase. And I am very quick, like I've told my new Florida crush guy, when I'm knocked down, when I get hit with something really life-shattering and shaking to my core, I have grown and healed enough for me to pick myself up very quickly center myself and ground myself and have clarity as to what my next step is and why it is that I went through this hard space. It is almost, instantaneous. I mean, obviously it's not instantaneous, but it was very quick for me to have a conversation with my mom and for her to present and say things that shook me and shook my understanding of what was happening enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going to grieve this. I'm going to be emotional. I'm going to let it go so that I can make space for what's coming next, because what's coming next is better than what I thought was meant for me. And that's okay to have shifts and changes happen in your life. And that's okay to be like, okay, I thought this was what I wanted. And as I was going forward with that, it's almost like molasses. Like you're slowing down, you're losing your energy, it's draining you. You're like, I'm still going because it's what, I said I was doing. And then you hit a roadblock or you hit that wall and it's like you cannot go any further in this. Obviously, you have to shift and pivot very hard. And that's what I did. And it was very quick for me to hit that roadblock, understand what wasn't meant for me, understand that I needed to grieve it, that I needed to purge the emotion, the feeling, let it go. And then for me to then say, okay, what is this making space for? What ultimately did I say I wanted and I desired? Because, and I'm laughing at it because it's funny, because I said, I want to be free. I want to have the freedom to not be tied down by anything. But this also, the freedom is not for me to just be like, oh, I'm free, I'm floating like a bubble, and life is just like la-di-da. I have kids. I have a responsibility to them. I will ultimately have some stability and foundations that I need to have, but there's also a lot of freedom around releasing relationships and situations that I was thinking were right for me. So, I mean, this is amazing. This is great. This is what I needed. It's hard sometimes to purge and release what you thought was meant for you. So I'm just really now in a space where I'm happy. I'm moving forward. I'm trying to navigate what this new scenario looks like. I'm also trying to be loving and caring and supportive to the people around me without being overly blunt and overly judgmental and overly truthful. Like, I want to be truthful. I want to provide a healthy amount of judgment and, whatever part I'm supposed to play in the roles of other people's lives is what I want to do. I want to say the things I need to say, but that means I have to come at it not with a filter necessarily, but with faith and with love. And I need to figure out what that looks like. And it's just like getting a cut. When you get a cut on your finger, on your arm, on your hand, on your leg, anywhere on your physical body, when you get a cut or something that has injured you, there's a time of pain, and there's a time of bleeding, and there's a time of you feel the pain, you're cut. Okay, it's bleeding, and then it clots, and it stops. But then you still have it. It's still there. It's not gone. It doesn't heal instantaneously. You have a reminder now of that. And sometimes the reminder is very present every single second of every single day because it's in front of your face. You can see it, you can feel it still, but it is healing. And then at some point in the healing process, you completely forget that you had the cut. You completely forget that it was bleeding and that you were in pain, and that every single time you know, went to unlock the door in the house, it revived the pain. Or every time you bent down, like, your knee hurt and it revived the pain. But at a certain point in the healing process, you forget that you had that cut, and it goes away, and you can move forward without having that pain anymore. So the healing process for this purge and emotion is still there. It's still there. It's still causing me a little bit of pain as I'm remembering what just released and what I'm letting go of. As I'm healing, as I'm growing, as I move through it, it will not be painful, and I'll almost forget that, I had a great loss like that to me. And, the things in front of me that are meant for me will bring me joy and happiness, and I will lean into those more. And I'm just excited for all of that. I'm excited for what's to come, and just kind of like circle back to the day. The day was great. It wasn't a sunny day. It wasn't like the most gorgeous, beautiful like weather, which that doesn't affect me anymore. The weather used to really, really weigh on me. If it was sunny, I would be happy. If it was cloudy, I would be sad. If it was rainy, I would be sad. If it was cold, I would be, all the things. The weather would highly affect me because I was affected. Now, I am happy no matter what. I put my music on. It's cloudy. I don't care. I'm vibing. I'm happy. I am in an amazing, uplifted mood. It's cold. It's fine. It's rainy. I love the rain now because it's like so cleansing and purging and beautiful. So I have shifted. So the weather doesn't bother me. And it wasn't necessarily like the most sunny, beautiful day, but I was in a beautiful space, and I was able to connect with a friend, and I was able to connect with my kids, and I was able to give myself grace and let myself heal and do a little bit of recovery as well. This weekend is going to be so much fun. We're going to do a lot of really good things together as a family unit. I am going to move forward with all of this moving and shifting, and I am going to be more in tune with my intuition and my higher purpose. I am going to not insist, and I am not going to resist. I am going to follow flow like I have been doing, and continue to learn more, be more sensitive to what's moving and shifting around me and what I need to do with that. Because sometimes it's like, if you're a little more sensitive to those things, you can feel the micro shifts. You're not waiting for that lightning bolt moment where it's like so present that you have to shift and change. I want to be more sensitive and able to shift with those micro movements in my spirit and soul. So that is what I'll be working on. I will be engaging in more fun hobbies. I am going to try is not the word because I am going to pursue more hobbies that fulfill different areas of my life and needs. I am going to move into this next chapter, this next phase, this next era of my life because I've had this last chapter of rest and recovery and deep diving and detective phase into who I am. And now it's like the launch pad. I am jumping on a springboard, and it is going to launch me into this next chapter of action, of just amazing opportunities. And that is where I'm going. So in this small phase right now, where I'm still rest recovery into action, I'm just really excited. I'm excited about all the growth. I'm excited that you guys are here, that you're supporting me well by listening. And I do say, like, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I hope you guys find some nuggets of information in here that help you springboard into the next phase. Thank you guys for listening, for supporting me, for subscribing, sharing, liking all the things or none of the things. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.